these are the days of Noah, as in the days of Noah. And I believe the rapture is our ark. The rapture is the ark. God always protects his children from his wrath every time. Don't say he's not going to protect us this time. God is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And unlike when he told Noah to build an ark for his escape, God never gave us anything to do aside believe in him. So I believe that we will be protected from his wrath by going up. Noah was above his tribulation, so to speak, above the waters. He was never in the waters. I believe the tribulation will be the waters, as in, we won't go through it. Even us just being here for the tribulation, even if we somehow survived, would still be so immensely stressful. You can't imagine. You have no idea what you want to go through if you want to go through that. It's not loving for God to make us go through. Why would it be? You have no idea how bad it's going to be. A friend pointed out to me that they think that perhaps the reason Noah got drunk afterwards was the immense stress of the whole earth drowning. Like, he saw that. It's so weird. It's so crazy. It's so interesting just thinking about that. I don't know the exact numbers, but I heard apparently it's like 95% of the population will be dead by the end of the 7-year tribulation. Maybe it's not that high of number. I'm really not sure, to be completely honest, just how many will lose their lives. But, like, it'll still be a lot. Like, most people, pretty much, right? It's gonna be bad. God has been showing me and my group of Rapture watching friends specific numbers everywhere, and some of the numbers we see correlate with a lot of what's happening right now. Like, for example, we see 9/11 a lot. And 9/11 was the exact time of, I believe, the beginning of when the blood moon was in Israel on the 9th. Huh? I don't know. Is it a coincidence or is it God? You tell me. We're always saying it's God with a lot of this stuff, and a lot of people just keep saying it's a coincidence. But after a while, it's like, how many times does something have to be a coincidence before it's no longer a coincidence? Like, God said to look at the sun, moon, and stars for signs, and the Revelation 12 sign happened on September 23rd, 2017. 8 years to the day of this peace meeting and everything else happening that day. Biblically speaking, 8 means new beginnings. I also want to say that, like, anytime someone has a rapture dream and in the dream they know the specific day of the week, it's always on a Tuesday. At least the ones I've heard. I've never heard anyone say that the rapture was on any other day of the week. For example, one of the dreams I heard, someone was at the place that they work at when the rapture happened, and that just so happens to be a place that they only work at on Tuesdays. This is huge because, well, for one thing, the 23rd just so happens to be on a Tuesday. And people were saying these dreams about being on Tuesdays long before this Joshua guy said it was going to be on the 23rd. So I just need to say that. And it's also significant because it's the third day of the week. Tuesday's the third day of the week. And biblically speaking, God's pattern is to do things on the third day. Just as Jesus was in the tomb for 2 days, he rose on the third day. And he literally gave us the answer to the timing of his return just in that alone. And it's no coincidence that just as he was gone for 2 days in the tomb, he has also been gone for 2,000 years from us on earth. Remember, for God, 1,000 years is as a day. So in God's timing, Jesus has only been gone for 2 days, just as he was gone for 2 days in the tomb. And he's about to return on the third day and reign on the new earth for 1,000 years, which equals the third day. It's crazy just how perfectly that lines up. God is brilliant. Tuesday's the third day of the week. You see the pattern, right? Nothing God does is ever random. There's always a pattern with God. The timing of the rapture isn't random. I genuinely believe God is telling us that the rapture of his bride will take place on a Tuesday. Now, will it be Tuesday in Israel's time? I'm not sure, but that could make a lot of sense as everything is going by Israel's clock prophetically. Everything revolves around Israel. Nothing is ever random with God. He always gives us signs ahead of time. He always warns us ahead of time before his wrath. Think about it. God is consistent. He's not going to change now. Why would he? Could the UN meeting be happening Tuesday here while it's still Tuesday in Israel? I haven't looked up what the exact times for the UN meeting is. Although, if I'm not mistaken, I believe the meeting goes on for a couple days. So, everything I've heard from all over and all kinds of different people are all lining up perfectly. And none of this stuff has ever contradicted each other, and especially not the Bible. So, yeah, I think it's this month. It's also very much worth pointing out that this time of year is the season for signs with the moon. I was watching a video about moons, and they said that it is eclipse season. And from what I understand, there's way more going on with the moon this year than other years. And God said the signs would be in the moon. And this is the season for it. And it's way more than normal from what I can tell. And it's also it's fall, or it's going to be fall, the season for change. That's interesting, all the leaves changing. That might not be a coincidence. God might be talking to us even through that. It's kind of amazing, right? Every 2,000 years, the world gets bad enough that God pours out his wrath. Noah, Sodom and Gomorrah, and the tribulation. And the earth is like almost 6,000 years old. If I'm not mistaken, it is 5,993, something like that. There's like 7 years left, if I'm not mistaken, until it's 6,000 years old, which would, if it is, that everything lines up perfectly for the tribulation to start this year. It's no coincidence that we're in the year 2025 AD, after Jesus' death. And Jesus was crucified on, a lot of people believe it was on 32 AD. Some think it could have been a different year, like a year off, but we're not sure. And we are exactly 7 years away from 2032, and of course the tribulation is 7 years, and 2032 is, of course, 2,000 years after Jesus' death, AD, after death. So, yeah, I think Jesus is about to be here, guys. Get right with him if you're not saved. Just seek out to him. It's just a heart thing. You just got to change your mind, turn of your wicked ways, and desire to live for him. Repentance, it's about accepting that what you did was wrong, but you don't want to live like that anymore. You want to live for Jesus and do what he loves. Live for him. Yeah. Maranatha, guys. God bless you guys. Peace. One of these videos is about to be the last video I post, so I'm going to see you guys really soon. So we don't have to talk through videos. We can talk in person, which is crazy to think about. I can hardly wrap my head around it. Anyways, God bless you guys. Peace.